of my favorite quotes is by Socrates that says, "The unexamined life is not worth living." We give so much focus to things that are outside of us, but staying of the breath is not the end. It's a means to an end. The end is a life of awareness. From the smallest of moments, we get to realize and understand a lot of things about life, about people in our lives, about ourselves. And through that realization, we can change things. But until and unless we realize those things, we can't change them.
When we did the workshop, I felt freer in my craft, in my other space, not in acting.
Even as a photographer?
Yeah. For me, I can't do this workshop once and be like, kar liya to kar liya. I feel like it needs to be revised. So what are the things that you can take back as a practice other than, okay, I know breath is one thing you close your eyes and sit with. It's something I'm trying to do every day. But what else is something that I can take?
Yeah, this one of my favorite quotes is by Socrates that says, "The unexamined life is not worth living." And I read it when I was very young and it made so much sense because it's so important to examine who we are. Because a lot of times we are examining what our circumstances are, we are examining where our career has to go, where our relationship is. We give so much focus to things that are outside of us, not realizing that all of those things are either working or not working because of something inside us. So it's so important to commit to living a life of awareness.
Yeah.
That I feel is the goal. And I mean, breath is one of the roots, which is a beautiful root because going to the breath immediately makes you aware of who you are, what you're feeling, what you're thinking in that moment. It brings you to that moment. That's why staying with the breath works. But staying with the breath is not the end. It's a means to an end. The end is a life of awareness, a life of being aware where you are, what you're feeling, what is going on around you, just awareness of your being and everything that is happening within your being and without your being. Just an awareness of you and your environment. Just when we start living like that, realizations happen in our life. From the smallest of moments, we get to realize and understand a lot of things about life, about people in our lives, about ourselves. And through that realization, we can change things. But until and unless we realize those things, we can't change them. So, a commitment to living a life of awareness is one thing that one has to do to be able to grow. I mean, most of us do it subconsciously, but most of us will do it in really extreme circumstances.
Yeah.
Because when life is normal, then there's no time for examining. But maybe even when things are normal and there's no problem, maybe even then is a good time to do it because we may find something about ourselves even in our mundanities. We don't need to go to our extremities to always find our answers.
Yeah, because meditation, a lot of times we're like, oh my God, today is such a trying day. Let me sit and close my eyes. But on a good day, why doesn't one just do that? And that's why the practice, the beginning of every class was so important for us to go into the rest of the day. Because I feel like the rest of the day would have been very different if for not those few hours, those couple of hours.